Wanted to cover some questions regarding practicing the solution. Now, I know everybody has their own way of doing it, but I'm sure there are others that maybe are maybe struggling or have questions about it. So I always want to cover that because I want to um, get as many participants as possible trying to take our energy back. Um, I want to try to simplify it. Now, this might only simplify it for people that have been doing it for some time, or may simplify it for beginners. But I wrote a couple notes down here, and I kind of want to cover that. Um, Basically, what we're doing, if you want to use the simplest state, now I say you can use visualization and stuff, but basically, what it comes down to is it comes down to us shifting our awareness. Okay, every I would say reality or every dimension, they're all located right here. If you can figure they're stacked on layers or however you want to interpret it, but they're all right here, right now. There's no space and time, only in the physical. But when we connect with something, we're just connecting like radio stations, one click on the dial, the one way or the other way, whatever. But what we're doing is we're tuning in. We're tuning our attention from here to wherever we desire. Okay. And you don't have to have a preconceived notion of where you're going to go. What I normally do is just pick something simple. Say if you wanted to focus on um, a certain location, begin with that location because that's the easiest for maybe you to imagine, okay, to visualize that. Treat it like the beginning of a daydream, like you're going to daydream about, I don't know, your mom's house, or a house that you lived in, or a location that you always wanted to go. Begin by visualizing that location. Then what'll happen is eventually, sometimes it happens really quickly, sometimes it happens a lot slower. But what you're doing is you're shifting your awareness from here to that point that you've created in the non-physical. Now, once you do that, it's you have to you have to remain aware of what you are actually doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to begin that daydream type of scenario, but you have to catch yourself because just like in a dream, you lose your lucidity a lot of times, your awareness. What you want to do is you want to enter into that location that you're talking about and then be there and do whatever you desire at that time. But you have to protect your awareness from being sucked into a dream state. What it'll do is it'll suck you into that. There's an illusion all around your visualization. That illusion is just waiting for your awareness to to kind of drift, and then it'll pull you into that state. And then you're in a dream or a daydream and you're done because you at that point you're not lucid anymore. So the secret is keeping your awareness once you've crossed, your awareness is fully crossed over what I call like a bridge. You can think about it as a shift or a drift from one station to another station. You're drifting over. And what generally happens is this is usually what most people are what I would consider the hypnagogic state. It's an in-between state of being fully aware of the physical and the awareness within that dream or daydream state. So what you're doing is for a very brief moment, generally, you'll lose consciousness. Usually it's so brief that most people won't realize it. And that's why you don't realize that you're being pulled away into that state around you, like a dream state. But what you have to do is you have to practice it enough to where you stay lucid, or what you'll do is you'll lose maybe your attention for a second, for not even a second, and then you're back into it and you realize, oh yeah, I'm still here. I have to hold on to it. So what you're doing is you're fighting for your independence, your independent lucidity, your independent attention within that specific space that you've created, that specific reality, or it within that specific state. You're fighting for it. So you have to push hard to attain or retain your attention within that control of your attention, because it'll drift off. So once you've become good enough at it and you've done it enough times, then it'll become more natural and you won't lose it as much. But you're going to have to fight for that, for your attentiveness within that that awareness state that you've shifted into, that you've drifted into. So what you're doing is remain in control of your situation, and what you've created is the only way that you're going to be able to do really what you need to do. Now, this is not just taking back the power, but it's a training to get you to be able to shift into different states of awareness and remain lucid. This is a training for you to train yourself. And there's different states that you can go into. It's not just that state only. From this point, you can do a lot of things, but it's the activity, it's the training that you want to really get good at. And then eventually you won't have to go through all the trouble. You'll be able to do it if you remain in practice. You'll be able to do it over and over and over again. But it takes practice and it takes dedication. So what normally happens is I'll just start out with maybe a location. Say I want to pinpoint a certain location. And once I'm into that space, lucid within that space, then I begin to go through searching beings or attracting beings so that I can take back the power. Or you don't even it doesn't even have to be a being. It's any source you would even consider. If you saw a spaceship or a planet or whatever, you can pull energy from it. It doesn't have to be an actual being, because everything is basically energy based here. So I might just go through that process. And as I go through that process, then it begins to expand. The whole reality that of that awareness reality begins to expand, and it's never ending. So I can search within that. And there is no having to fly somewhere or worry about how to travel or whatever. It's instantaneous because you're in control. You don't have to travel. You want to be somewhere, you're somewhere. That's what it's all about. And what I was trying to say is your awareness and your attention are within that, and you're in control of that. So it's not a dream state. It's not you just reacting within the environment, you controlling the environment. And then within that environment, if you're running into different beings or something like that, they're going to react, and you're going to react in that situation. But eventually it becomes natural, so that you're reacting as you have trained yourself over and over. A lot of times things will happen and you're like, wow, okay, I wasn't even aware that I was able to do that. It's just like an instantaneous response. So it's all about building. And I can't tell you everything because I don't know everything about it. But what I do know is if you train yourself, if you begin the training, then you will learn more than I could ever tell you, more I can ever say, more than I could ever put into words, because it's not about relaying information. It's about your experiences. And if you don't go out and put forth the effort, you're not going to have those experiences, and therefore you will never understand. I don't care how many videos you watch. But this is all about training. And I can only relay so much about the training, because it's your responsibility to follow through with that. And if you don't, you're never going to understand. Well, I don't know about the solution, or I tried it once, it didn't work. You know what? The first time you tried to do something, were you a professional at it? Were you great at it? Were you, no, you weren't. Sometimes it takes a little more effort than others. But you know what? If you don't think it's worth it, then you're not willing to, it doesn't mean anything to you. I don't know why you're here. I mean, I'm here to try to assist people, help them out, try to be there for them, answer questions and stuff. But if you're just not participating, then that's your problem because you're never going to learn a damn thing. This isn't sit down and read a book and, this is both feet in. That's what this is about. This is about 100% participation. This is not made for entertainment. I'm not here for entertainment purposes. I'm here to get people together so that we can work towards a solution, not fuck around. I mean, you know, that's not my intention. I am serious about what I do. And that's why I sit down and I try to assist others or help them along. So, it's up to you to decide what you want to do with this information.